I never started a business to buy a Ferrari. I just want to be great at something.
Most people may know you from television, from Shark Tank, and may think that maybe that's what you've done all your life, but you have a long history.
All my relatives think I do that for a living.
You have a long history in the tech business as well. What attracted you to the technology world?
I love change, and I'm a geeky, techie guy, and I was very attracted to it because of that. You know, the technology world reinvents itself every 3 years. I love that. I love that about it.
One of the things that you talk about in your book is this idea of being able to create value. So if you're starting a business, you should think about the value that you're creating. What is it about the value that you're creating with your business that drives you to get up every morning and keep working?
Yeah, I used to work for Warren Avis, the guy who started Avis Rent-A-Car, and he said to me one day, Robert, what's the purpose of business? And I said, oh, make a profit and all these other things. And he said, no, the purpose of business is to create a customer, because everything else takes care of itself. If you can create customers and create value for them, because the answer to that question is different for every single customer, then you're going to have a great business.
What about emotion? Because I think emotion gets in the way for a lot of people when they're doing business. However, one of the things you talk about in this book is the fact that you're a nice guy, and at the end of the day, nice guys can finish first. How important has that been to you?
I think it's a two-edged sword, right? I always say to people, I'm not in business for emotional gratification. I'm in business to make money and build a great company and all these other things. So you gotta leave your emotion out of it, because when you're angry or you hate, you make stupid decisions. But that doesn't mean you have to become a jerk or mean about it. I mean, nobody likes to do business with somebody who isn't nice.
In your book, you talk about some of the qualities that you think are important to have if you are leading a company. And one of the things that you talk about is this idea of being able to listen, which seems like an obvious thing, but a lot of people don't do it. How important do you think listening is to being successful?
I'm sorry, what did you say? It's everything. And it's not about, people misunderstand that. It's not about listening for empathy. It's not about listening to be a nice person. It's about listening, and not just the audio cues, but the physical cues about what people are really saying to you. And I think I've always been pretty good at that. It's trying to get to the truth of every comment and every word. And you've got to understand what the mood is, how things are moving forward.
Do you think there's a point, and I'm sure you see this on Shark Tank, when people have to learn that it is time to quit? Some businesses just aren't going to make it? Yeah, you got to know when to let it go. Success is not about winning at everything. Success is about finding out the stuff that you shouldn't be participating in. Let it go. What do you think is the number one quality you see in people who come into Shark Tank and pitch you in terms of companies that are successful and have potential?
Their passion, and Mark Cuban completely disagrees with me on this. We have horrible arguments at lunch about this. For me, the passion about a very narrow field. So people misunderstand that. Oh, you mean I have to be passionate, I have to be excitable. I said, no, you have to be passionate about one thing. Be great at one thing. The world will reward your knowledge of a very narrow field. So the analogy I always use is, you know, Tom Brady, I love NFL football. Tom Brady gets paid $25 million a year to throw the ball. He doesn't get paid to block. He doesn't get paid to tackle. In fact, when he does those things, people freak out. Be Tom Brady.
Be good at
one thing.
At one thing.
And then be great at that one thing. Be world class at one thing. Forget your weaknesses, because somebody is going to eat your lunch at the stuff you're not good at.
When you're writing The Will to Win, what was going through your mind throughout the entire book while you were writing this? Did you kind of know what type of book it was going to be?
Kind of. You know, the thing that was going through my mind was why? Because it was so much work. It was really just a way, because people always think there's a finality to success. You know, people think about success in terms of a finish line. People always ask me, why are you so successful? And I always correct them and I say, I'm not successful. You know, the minute you think you've made it is the beginning of the end. So it's just about, the overall message is you got to keep going. You got to love what you do and you got to keep going.
Why?
Because what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Why were we put on this earth? Were we put on this earth to be miserable and to complain and to look at life as victims? I am in control of everything that happens to me. Everything. Everything that will happen in my life, I will be the master of. That doesn't mean my life will always be happy. That doesn't mean my life will always be good. But I have the ultimate choice to choose how I will react to the things that happen to me and move forward from that. And I'm okay with not succeeding at them because the journey on that road is worth it for me.